Fox NASCAR live in Daytona Beach, Florida, as we count you down to tomorrow's Great American Race. Today, the focal point becomes the NASCAR Xfinity Series, their season opener later on FS1. Right now, it's qualifying. You look at the weather, totally different than what we had here yesterday. Near record highs, almost hit 90 degrees. Right now, 62. And the one thing I noticed there with our Fox weather is the wind. Welcome in, everybody, with Michael Waltrip, who's won many times at Daytona. I'm Adam Alexander. First car on track, Jade Buford. What role can the wind play in this qualifying session, Michael?
Well, you know, a lot of times the driver has to sense exactly where that wind is. You look at the flags, your crew, everybody's telling you what's going on, but you got to feel what your car likes. A lot of times you run out next to that outside wall, everybody's going to run high, coming to get the green, and then dive to the bottom. You just want to get all the momentum you can. Use your brain the best you can to try to find the right lane around this track. Now, the lane in qualifying a lap is going to be dead around the bottom. It's the shortest way. We see that all the time. You want your nose right on that yellow line to take the shortest distance around this 2.5-mile track that you possibly can. But when you come up to speed out of the pit, you want to be right out next to that outside wall. So a driver, he's really kind of handcuffed here, Adam. He wants to think he can help, and you do think you can, but there's probably really very little he can do.
One of the highlights of qualifying last year is when Jade Buford had his career best run in a qualifying session, started third in this race. This is the same car, but a second car in that big machine stable, and they're going to run it a handful of times this year. Of course, their full-time driver in the 48 is Parker Kligerman. So we'll lay down a lap and see where we are. Jade Buford, first car out, 49.649 seconds. Let's go to Regan Smith.
Well, Adam, so much to worry about in this qualifying session. You guys talk about the wind. That's something that the drivers and teams have to worry about. Some of these teams, such as Brett Moffitt, have to worry about making sure they qualify into this race. Brand new team for AM Racing, stepping up from the truck series. That's good news for you, but you got to get in here. What's the nerves like right now?
Yeah, it's always a little nerve-wracking. I'm not too worried. We got Roush Yates power under the hood, and this AM Technical Solutions Ford Mustang was fast yesterday. So hopefully we get through the gears smooth, run a lap as fast as Xfinity 10G, and lock ourselves into the front of the show.
Adam Brett, somebody who definitely, when he gets in, is going to be fast in the race. Finished second here a couple years ago.
Truck Series champion is Brett Moffitt, so we know he's quite capable. And you talk about the numbers and trying to get in as we watch Josh Bilicki. 44 drivers here this weekend, only 38 will make the field, so 6 obviously go home. But the thing to keep an eye on in this first of 2 rounds of qualifying, the top 33 lock in on speed. Beat 11, and you know you're going to be racing later this afternoon.
Yeah, so once 12 guys go, we start the process of elimination and know that some guys are in trouble and some guys are definitely locked in.
Josh Bilicki second behind Jade Buford, 50-47 for him. Qualifying underway at Daytona.
Yeah.
Busy times here at Daytona with qualifying in the Xfinity Series. Kyle Sieg has made his run, currently second. Of the 6 cars that have had an opportunity, 5th on the board right now, Garrett Smithley. And I say the 6 cars that have had an opportunity because Ryan Vargas was scheduled to go, but could not make his way onto the track, so he's not going to get a chance to make a qualifying run. And based on where they are from a points perspective dating back to last year, they're going to have a real hard time making it into the field. And we hate this for Ryan Vargas because he was 6th here in the race last August, and every time we went to a drafting track last year, he seemed to advance to the second round of qualifying, putting him in the top 10. I just hate it for that team, so a tough break for the driver out of California. Saw the 66 of Dexter Stacy, who puts it 3rd on the board.
Hadn't been to Daytona in 10 years, Dexter Stacy, so I'm sure it feels good to be back. Solid lap there for that team.
And here comes Florida's own Cesar Baccarella, co-owner of Alpha Prime Racing with Tommy Joe Martins. And a fast lap there, 49.75 for Cesar. Regan?
Adam Cole Custer making his return to the Xfinity Series this year. Cole, 10 Xfinity wins in your career already. A lot of people pointing at this car for strength this season. How excited are you to get this season going right now?
Yeah, I'm itching to get in the car right now and get our lap over with. You know, I mean, as a driver, you're just ready to hit your marks and hopefully run a solid one out there. But our guys worked really hard on this car over the off season, so hopefully have a little bit of speed. But our Haas Automation Mustang drove really good yesterday. It's just hopefully we can be there at the end of the race. You know, these things, you try and miss the big wrecks, and hopefully we can be there at the end and hopefully have a shot at it.
Thanks, Cole.
Hit your marks. You're going to hear that from the drivers a lot. A really key part of this whole, you talked about the win. You can't do much about that as a driver, but you can leave pit road perfectly with those tires just barely spinning because you've got enough power to them to maximize the grip and the power under the hood. Uh-oh, we got an issue, boys.
Something's not right.
There's 3 cars in one turn in qualifying. That's not normal. We've had this happen before where they
We have. Phoenix last year, I believe, right?
Yeah, so we're going to have to figure this out.
Well, Timmy Hill in the 13 was scheduled to be on track before Bailey Curry in the 4. And, you know, you go out, you have your get up to speed lap or almost to get up to speed lap. You exit pit road, you come around, you're taking a green. And NASCAR tries to get through the session as quickly as they can. And sometime if you release one too soon, you can have an issue. And what really confuses that here is the element of the draft. I mean, you just catch a little bit and it changes everything.
Well, and I thought, you know, Timmy Hill was getting a draft, but he didn't run a very fast lap. I don't know if he got word to bail and come in and have to do it again. It wouldn't have really affected, you know, it wouldn't have affected the 4 car of Bailey Curry because he was out ahead of it.
Yeah.
But it would have affected Hill. I don't know what NASCAR will decide to do, but a solid lap there for Bailey.
Driving for JD Motorsports, and he is 4th of the 9 that have had an opportunity here. Distraction-wise, the last thing you think you're going to see, I mean, you might see a car on the apron cooling down, but you just don't anticipate there's going to be anyone around you. If you see that in the mirror, catch it out of the corner of your eye, does that mess with you a little bit?
I don't think if you're out front it does. I don't think Bailey had a problem with anything that went on. And if you're Timmy Hill, you had a big smile on your face, I would think.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I'm
Take all I can get.
Baby. But his time doesn't reflect that. So I just wonder if NASCAR told him to come back to pit road. They're going to have to do it again. Good lap for Kyle Sieg. 10th here last August, Adam. And he's up in the 3rd spot during this session. So solid run for that team.
Yeah, 3-car operation, the Sieg group. And this weekend, you're going to have, you know, Ryan Sieg's going to run the 38. The 39 is going to be Joe Graff Jr. But next weekend, Joe Graff Jr. going to go run for Joe Gibbs Racing. He's got 5 starts over there, and that's going to open the door for Alex LeBay to come drive for the Siegs in California. Here comes Greg Gaulding, no stranger to success when it comes to Daytona.
Very talented drafting driver. He understands where to put that car, how to take advantage of the air. And I just love when you see kids that get it. You know, sometimes it's a struggle to figure out how to use the air to your advantage. But since the day Gray showed up, he's gotten it, and he's done a nice job.
Well, we had Jay White last night in the Craftsman Truck Series race, and when Jay was running full-time in trucks, it was Gray's dad, Dwayne, who was around so much supporting that operation. So we've known Gray since he was a little guy coming around the garage with his father.
You talked about his successes, finished 2nd at both Daytona and Talladega. So you really figure out that this kid knows how to draft and be good on the big tracks.
When a driver like this is at the front late, it makes me nervous thinking he's got a real shot to go out and pull an upset. And a good lap here for Greg Gaulding. Driving for Bobby Dotter, he is 3rd on the board behind Buford and Baccarella. .44 cars trying to qualify for the 38 spots available for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race later today on FS1. We've checked 10 boxes, and next on track will be Brett Moffitt in the 25 as we go back to Regan.
Adam, nerves for a number of these teams on pit road, none more so than Ryan Ellis. Ryan, you guys had problems in practice yesterday. No laps, had to change the transmission out. What are the thoughts right now?
Kind of just going in with an open mind. Not much you can do here as a driver. So the Heartbeat Hot Sauce team worked really hard. Chipped in, got some help chipped in from Junior Motorsports. They gave us a transmission, drive shaft, a few other things, and my guys were here till about 10:15, just putting the car back together. So no idea how much speed we got out there, but you know it's not too hard of a track to drive, at least here at Daytona.
Good luck. Thanks, Ryan.
Now that's when you get rolling, and I agree with Ryan when you're making your lap, because you have a template, and the template is that yellow line. You want to stay as close to it as you comfortably can. But we heard a driver say earlier, I just have to hit my marks. That means the perfect launch. We were talking about that when we had 2 cars in the same corner in qualifying, which isn't normal. But the perfect launch, you know, maximizing the power to the rear tires, and then hitting the exact RPM that your engineers and crew chief tell you to shift gears at. You have to do that 3 times, first, second, and then when you hit 4th gear, then you just want to run as high as you can around the track on the first lap, and just where Brett Moffitt is right here on lap 2, right around the bottom.
Tracker indicates pretty good lap going here.
Yeah, he's just a tick over a half a second off of Jade Buford. What a lap for Buford.
Moffitt goes 6th. And we have seen the clock expire for Jesse Awuji and Alex Labbe. So we're adding to the list of drivers that are not going to get on track. And NASCAR has announced we're not going to allow as much time this year. If you can't get out and make your qualifying run, no more putting you on an extended clock. You get your chance. If you can't get it all together, you're going to forfeit your opportunity. And with that, we're seeing some drivers miss out on making a run, and it will have an enormous impact on who races later today. We'll sort through the points and all of that later. But again, you want to be in the top 33 on speed, and if you don't run, you got no chance to get there.
Our stat guy Russell is having a little bit of a breakdown right now, because we've got all these cars that are going to have to rely on points to get in, as they don't get a chance to go qualify. So there's going to be a lot of math involved in seeing who makes it and who doesn't.
He's going to pull his hair out.
Yeah, he is. One thing we know for sure, let's give you some facts. Jade Buford, he's going to race.
Done deal.
He's beat 12 cars, gets him in the spot.
You just have to beat 11.
Good run there for Josh. Josh Williams in the 92. Best Daytona finish of 9th a couple years ago.
Josh Williams back driving for Mario Gosselin this year. Been away for a couple of years. Good to see them back together. 2 racers that do business in similar ways.
You know, our favorite thing to do, Adam, is walk through the garage area and find Josh and check out his, you know, his tape measure.
Yeah.
Measuring his nose height, measuring the shocks. He measures everything.
I was talking to Brian Barry down there today, who's a part of that organization, and he was saying just how great Josh is. And Josh does so many things for local communities and the children's hospitals and everything. So Josh, a fun guy to be around, and he's put it 4th right now on the qualifying board as we take a look at Brennan Poole. Never forget when Poole almost won Talladega, remember? In fact, we thought he won it, and then the caution had come out, and Elliott Sadler ended up getting it. But that was a fun afternoon for him.
So close.
And Poole is 3rd. He'll race today as well. Regan?
A busy weekend for Riley Herbst. Of course, Riley, you will start the Daytona 500 tomorrow, fresh off of practice with the Cup car. Now you got to switch gears, though. It's back to the Xfinity car. How much of a challenge is that?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just the H pattern from the sequential back and forth, back and forth. So just making sure that I know there's only 4 gears in this car instead of 5 in the Cup car. But really excited for everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing this year. Obviously, we have a teammate with Cole Custer. So I think the 00 and the 98 it's going to be really fast. So we're looking forward to qualifying.
Good luck getting through the gears on that H pattern.
You know, one of the tough things for the Fords on these drafting tracks is they just haven't had many partners over the years. I mean, because so much of this is about manufacture. Nice for Riley now to have Cole. The 2 of them can work together.
That's 2 powerful cars, too.
Jeffrey Earnhardt driving the 44.
Is Larry down there calling shots?
I don't think he is. Jeffrey would like to have him back because when they worked together at Talladega, he was on the pole last year.
Yeah, finished 2nd.
Yeah.
I mean, a great day for Larry McReynolds and the Earnhardt family. Great job for Jeffrey.
And a good qualifying run here. Jeffrey Earnhardt is fourth. Leading the way, Jade Buford. 16 cars have been a part of the fun.
Nashville SC, New York City FC, next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on Fox.
Qualifying rolling on at Daytona for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. While we were away, 31, Parker Retzloff driving full-time this year for Jordan Anderson. Went to second, and for some reason, timing and scoring did not populate a time for him, so we will trust that he is second, and that's great for him because this is really a new game to him. He didn't get much experience last year. A lot of what he did was on the shorter tracks. I'm happy to see him full time.
Yeah, he was a breath of fresh air, wasn't he? Just came out and no experience and was able to run competitively with these guys.
Two-car operation this year for Sam Hunt Racing. The 24 will be the all-star car. Tyler Reddick going to run it a handful of times, including next weekend at California. This weekend behind the wheel, Parker Chase.
Road course expert checking out the high banks of Daytona. Looks like a very solid lap.
Let's go to Regan.
Well, Adam, the other side of that Sam Hunt Racing equation, Kaz Grala making a return to the Xfinity Series full-time now. What is it like knowing that you will be able to race for a championship this year?
It's definitely a relief. I feel like I can kind of take a deep breath here at Daytona, knowing that I'm going to race the next few weeks and have some fun out there. You know, our Island Coastal Lager GR Supra, I think, is going to be pretty good. Don't expect anything big from us here in qualifying. We're set up for the race. So hopefully we'll be as fast as Xfinity 10G come lap 120 today. So I'm not expecting a whole lot, but we're going to have some fun this afternoon.
Adam, if he's set up for the race, I'm looking forward to watch that because he's got two top fives here already at Daytona.
Hey, and you paid off the Sam Hunt Racing story, and I'm just really fired up to have Kaz Grala around full time, and we've seen that with a couple of these teams that are growing their operation that now have gone from bits and pieces to one full-time guy that has a real shot. And you pointed out the numbers. I think Kaz will be a player today. As we look at Jeremy Clements, won last time out at Daytona in August.
Yeah, started in the 9th position, so solid qualifying run for him a year ago. This is a talented racer. Family roots back to my hometown of Owensboro, Kentucky. In fact, Jeremy's grandpa was the crew chief for G.C. Spencer. G.C. Spencer was a racer back in the 50s, my brother's hero. So Daryl texted me yesterday and he said, don't forget about G.C. Spencer and them Clements boys.
It's easy to talk about them here because of the success they've had. And, you know, Tony, Jeremy's father, builds engines. And I talked to him yesterday. He said he puts in 60 to 70 hours a week, and they'll produce somewhere in the neighborhood of 300, 350 engines this year. It's incredible.
Is that amazing or what? Got their ghost car populating the upper half of our screen. That's what it takes to make the top 10 to be ahead of Bailey Curry. Jade Buford fastest so far, but you can see Cole Custer's creeping ahead.
Got to beat 11 to get in the show, but you have to be in the top 10 to advance to the second round and run for the pole. And Cole Custer goes to the top, Regan.
Well, Adam, I found Parker Klingerman. Parker, you're a TV guy, but now you're not a TV guy. I don't even know what to think right now.
I'm just trying to follow in your footsteps. So you went back, did this Xfinity thing, right? And got that second chance. But this is so cool. Thank you to Scott Borchetta and Big Machine Vodka, Spike Coors. This whole team has brought a car that I believe is as fast as Xfinity 10G. And that, you know, just in practice, I could tell. There's just, you know, when you get in a car and it just feels right, like everything's correct, it just feels tight, it's fast, it does the right things. That's what we have here in the Summer 48, and I just, I'm ready for this season. We've been working really hard in the off season. I know you hear that a lot, but truly, like, when the day Phoenix ended, I went to the shop, started on simulators, and we have been working throughout this off season to get ready, to get me up to speed, for a full season, and I'm ready to go show what we've been working on.
Hey, good luck. You got me pumped up after that interview. Way to go.
I know the car's fast because Jade Buford, the team car, really good. And here is Ryan Ellis. We heard from him earlier. A host of problems yesterday during practice, but pacing, okay right now as he tries to put it in the show.
I was thinking the same thing, Adam. Borrowed some parts and pieces from Dale Jr., he said. Got his guys to work late into the evening, and it looks like it's going to pay off.
He's 17th of 22. Cole Custer leading the way in qualifying from Daytona. The balloon is on the loose.
Floating along Lake Lloyd.
Well, it will today because we talked about it. It's windy in Central Florida.
That wind could play havoc with you in the draft, too, because it can move your car around. In qualifying, really, you're stuck with what you have. But in the race, we could see effects of guys sliding into one another, Adam, because of getting the gust of wind at the wrong point in time.
Anthony Alfredo drove for Allen Motorsports last year. Has moved to B.J. McLeod for 2023. His teammate Garrett Smithley ran earlier. And the 99 is 18th on the board. We'll see what Alfredo can do here. Pat Tryson is his crew chief. And I remember last year in California, Cole Custer won the race. But we know tires are so big there. They had saved a set, and we thought he was going to pull an enormous upset. We've got him in here, and boy, the ghost car indicates he's got a real good lap going, clocking right there with our leader, Cole Custer.
A couple of top 10s on the drafting track last year. But man, with this kind of speed, we could see something special this afternoon.
I mean, this is, I did not see this coming. How about it?
You got to just give it up for that team. That's beautiful.
Here's Regan Smith.
Well, Adam, most drivers standing next to their cars further down the grid, getting ready to make their laps. Austin Hill, last year's Daytona Xfinity winner. You're standing up here at the front of the grid. What are you trying to learn?
I'm just watching some of the launches here. So yesterday I did a few launches in our practice session, and it seemed like I was spinning the tires pretty bad, which I didn't remember doing last year. So I'm just trying to see what some of these guys are doing, how hard they're dumping the clutch. See, like right there, the 10, he kind of spun the tires a little bit. I think if you can get the grip and not slip the tire, it's going to pay dividends for your lap. So I'm just trying to see how hard I can push it to try not to slip the tire, but to get the most out of my lap.
Adam, always a student of the game. Always something these drivers can learn out here.
I think he's been listening to Michael.
That's what we talked about earlier. You want all the power to those rear tires. And if they slip a little bit, I don't think that's as bad as if you lug the motor down. So I think that's sort of the go. Err on the side of too much. And, you talk a lot about anybody could do this qualifying thing. Well, anybody can't do it perfect. I can promise you that. And that's exactly what Austin Hill is looking for, the perfect lap.
Ryan Sieg is 7th, and it was a bit confusing to have the ghost car in there because the guy on the bubble and the ghost was his brother Kyle. So you had a couple of Siegs and Alfredo Anthony with just a hot lap. 49-43 puts him at the top. And here's Justin Haley, one of the 2 drivers racing today that will also race tomorrow in the Daytona 500. And when it comes to this style of racing, hard to beat what Haley brings to the table.
He's got it going on, and he's got a fast car too. To be successful at these places, you can be the best plate / drafting track driver you've ever met. And if you don't have a car under you, you're not going to make any headlines. And seemed like he had a really strong start to this lap, but for some reason falling off in the second half.
Colleague has an alliance with RCR, and so does Big Machine. And Big Machine had Jade Buford out. He is 3rd, so it stands to reason that this 10 car would be fast. Not going to have anything for Anthony Alfredo, but he is good enough to jump up into the 6th position. And speaking of RCR, here comes the 2 of Sheldon Creed. Won a Truck Series championship a few years ago, was a rookie last year here in the Xfinity Series, and hoping to have more success in year 2 driving the Deuce for RC.
He will have more success. He's another young man that's a student of the game, works hard on his physical fitness and studies every aspect of what it takes to be successful. And that's what, you know, as an owner, that's what you like. You know, you come in the shop and you look and you're in the war room, your drivers are in there with the engineers just trying to dig through information, learn more every day. Heck of a race down the back straightaway there, wasn't it?
He and Alfredo going at it, aren't they?
Looks like Anthony, the second half of his lap, he really excelled. As we see, he's pulled away from everybody, putting a little bit of gap between he and Creed.
Sheldon Creed, second on the board, 49.47.
49.47.
Behind Alfredo. And our first car from Joe Gibbs Racing, John Hunter Nemechek, back in the Xfinity Series after a couple of years driving a truck for Kyle Busch. He's won here twice on this side of things. In fact, his father Joe has won 2 times right here at Daytona. And this is basically the championship winning team from a year ago with Ty Gibbs, although he comes over to drive it. Ben Bayshore, the new crew chief here.
You can hear the car scraping along on the road. And now John Hunter's over there playing at the window net, trying to do anything he can to get air around the car. But look at Alfredo down the back. You know, that could have a lot to do with the wind. Think about that. We see that consistently. Maybe he just caught the right gust of wind on the tail or none on the front, and that allowed him to really accelerate down the back straightaway, because that's almost inexplicable how he could be, you know, so even and then just drive away from people.
Well, Sheldon Creed was in front of him midway down the back straightaway, and then that 78 with the ghost car just exploded. Good lap for John Hunter Nemechek, puts him 4th of the 27 vehicles that have been a part of the qualifying session. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Adam. We're talking about 100th of a second here or there. And, you know, and that's why these guys are such students of launching, making sure they do that properly. And then you saw that we talked about the right line. And then so much so, you saw John Hunter with his left hand trying to hold the window net out so the air didn't come in the car. Those could get you 100th of a second if they're done right at the right time.
Cole Custer is 3rd. Here's his teammate, Riley Herbst. Second driver in the field today that will also race tomorrow in the Daytona 500 for Riley. It'll be his first ever start in a Cup race, not just the Daytona 500. That's a heck of a way to make your Cup debut.
Here comes number 78. That's incredible. I've never seen such a disparity between 2 cars on one straightaway. And as we've talked about the wind, and it can make that much of a difference.
I almost have to believe that that's it. I mean, it just nothing else really would make sense. Herbst is 3rd, Regan.
Well, Adam, let's ask Anthony Alfredo. Anthony, a great lap. We're speculating that maybe the wind had a pretty big part to do with that and helped out a little bit, but nonetheless, a great lap for you guys. Was the wind a part of it?
Probably. I mean, I was super worried about it because we didn't have enough points to guarantee ourselves in the show, so we had to make it on time, and I fortunately must have caught it right, but that's not to knock the hard effort everyone on my team put into this Ticket Smarter Chevrolet. It was definitely as fast as Xfinity Internet. We were happy yesterday in single car runs, making sure we could make the show. It looks like we'll be another round, but there's a lot of good cars left to go, so we'll see if anyone can give us a run for our money. But definitely proud of the effort everyone put in, Team Dillon Management, all our partners, Dude Wipes, Death Wish Coffee, Liquid Death, everyone who helped put this together, and of course Jessica and BJ for the opportunity. But we're definitely going to have opportunity to turn this around. BJ and Jessica want to go compete for a playoff spot this year, and if this Ticket Smarter Chevy is as fast as it has been, we'll have a shot in the Xfinity Series this year.
I can tell you, Adam, it's all smiles down here. These guys are really pleased with that number.
I mean, that's not just fast pasta. That's like microwavable. You know?
That's incredible. And again, like Anthony said, we're not taking anything away from the effort the team put in. BJ McLeod, that's a fast car. He's just driven it perfectly, and he's in a great spot right now.
Yeah, and you know, he talks about the perspective of being able to advance. The reality is, when you look at, I know there's some good cars coming, but look who he's in front of: Creed and Herbst and Custer and Nemechek, and then that grouping from the RCR camp that has the alliance. I mean, it's just hard to imagine right now, based on what we've seen, that they won't move on to round number 2. And here's a driver that's quite capable. Chandler Smith has a few starts in the Xfinity Series, but you know all about him from watching him the last few years at KBM, driving one of those Toyotas for Kyle Busch.
You know what I love about this kid? He's very confident. He isn't cocky, but he's very confident in his ability to go out and get the job done. And When he showed up in the trucks, you could tell that he was going to be a guy that would make it all the way to Cup, but because of his talent and his commitment. But he got passed going down the back straightaway by Anthony Alfredo.
Join the club, right? Chandler Smith in the 16 that A.J. Allmendinger drove last year and won 5 times. A.J. moving on the Cup. Good lap for Chandler. He's 4th right now. Top 10 advanced to round 2 to run for the pole. You have to beat 11 to make the show. The fast 33 are locked in. Then we get into the provisionals. 44 cars here today. 38 will race this afternoon. And we get our second car from Joe Gibbs Racing, Myatt Snyder in the 19 this weekend.
Yeah, he had the fastest lap yesterday in drafting.
He ended up top of the board.
Yeah, and the Gibbs cars and they joined up with the Junior Motorsports cars and had a draft together that got them those fast speeds. But I was really interested to see qualifying, how that drafting speed related to single car speed. And you can see John Hunter down in the 6th spot. We haven't seen a JRM car yet. We'll see what they can pull off when they go to run.
Mike Snyder won a pole here at Daytona a couple of years ago, driving for Richard Childress at the time, full-time for Jordan Anderson last year. And this is his first start for Gibbs, obviously first race of the year. He doesn't race this car again until June at Portland, so a long break after today for Myatt Snyder, who slots in 8th. Regan?
Let him a good lap for Sheldon Creed, and you know these RCR cars are going to be fast when we come to these super speedways. This team in particular, big gains last year. What's that do going into today's race for you?
Yeah, I mean, just built a lot of confidence at the end of last year, and I feel like we had a good reset over the offseason just to settle down and focus on what we needed to do to win races. So had a little trouble getting off the line there, just I don't know, the motor stuttered a little bit, so might have to change up what I do with my feet there and try to get a better launch, and then hopefully we don't catch a big gust of wind. But overall, just happy with everyone at RCR. I just want to thank Chevrolet, Wheelan, everyone that helps us get here, and yeah, hopefully we can go and get a good starting position, if not a pole, and have a good run tonight.
Michael, there's more of that launch talk. These guys are making you look good right now.
Well, I mean, it's you got to do it perfect, and if you don't, you know all the effort. You know how many hours were put in to bring you the best race car to Daytona that you can, and if you stumble the motor a little bit leaving pit road, your crew's thinking, what the heck?
I don't know if it was a gust of wind, but we have a new leader in qualifying, Parker Kligerman. His teammate was fast, Jade Buford 8th. This is a brand new car, Patrick Donahue told me, for Big Machine. And I saw Scott Borchetta in the garage this morning, arrived right on time at 10 a.m. as anticipated. He's done a great job with that group.
Country music king. And now Daytona pole sitter so far is Scott Borchetta. He really helps Daryl and I with our charity event too. Last year, a couple years ago, we had Brooks and Dunn in town. Last year, Keith Urban. And Scott helps us with that stuff. So thank you so much, buddy.
Was that your Australian accent?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure
Keith Urban.
David Starr in the 02, great veteran driving for Our Motorsports. Bottom of the screen, watching Jeb Burton, and we'll keep track of him as he makes that big launch to go out and get a lap done in qualifying.
You know, I guarantee you these drivers have been thinking about that launch since they woke up this morning. Like, just do that right. Really important that you do that right.
David Starr's 20th.
He's got 3 top 10s in his career on the drafting tracks, so hangs in there, scratches them out. Here we go. Please be perfect. Perfect. You can hear the wheels trying to spin, but they were just churning. Now he just hits his shifts. See him studying that tack. Leg it out here in 3rd for a while. Perfect pull back to 4th. I think he checked the boxes. Now you just want to stay along that outside wall. already trying to keep air from coming in the car with that left hand. And then the philosophy from transitioning from top to bottom off turn 4 sometimes varies a bit, but mostly I think once you go down this straightaway, you just want to start angling as you come off turn 4 down the straight. You want to use your best judgment to start angling toward the start-finish line so that when you get there, you're going lower. You're continuing to go lower, and that's exactly what he did there.
Seemed like the transition from the top to the bottom was quite smooth for the 27.
And he's driving one-handed, so when they say anybody could do this, I guess that's fair. But like I said earlier, no, not just anyone can do it perfectly.
Hey, and he's tracking here right up against the bubble, and on the bubble right now is his teammate, Parker Retzlaff.
Makes you feel good that you tuned up 2 cars alike. Make you feel better if they were fastest, but still.
He's still driving the 27, but doing it this year for Jordan Anderson instead of Our Motorsports.
Not quite going to get there, is he, Adam?
He's not going to advance, but plenty good enough to get into the show later today. Jeb Burton is 13th of 34. 10 to go when qualifying rolls on from Daytona. Ten cars remain in the opening round of qualifying at Daytona with Michael Waltrip. I'm Adam Alexander. Parker Kligerman leads the way. What's up, Regan?
Well, Adam, John Hunter Nemechek standing down here, finishing up his lap and talking with your crew here. A lot of fun for you this year, new team. Not a lot of Toyotas in the field, though. What do you do today when the race starts in terms of working with guys?
Just need our Toyota GR Supra with Mobil 1 colors this weekend to go as fast as Xfinity 10G. But excited to see what we can do in the race today. We have 4 other teammates, I think, within the Toyota camp. So may have to venture out a little bit during the race and see if we can find some other drafting partners as well. But hope to work with our teammates and everyone within the Toyota camp and see what we can do. This car was fast yesterday in the draft. We're going to be on the edge of making it here to the second round, but it doesn't matter where you start, only matters where you finish the race. So hopefully we can go check off Daytona on our list and get the year kicked off right.
Good luck, John Hunter. Thanks.
My gut says it's going to be hard for him to move on. 7th, still got all the Chevys from Junior Motorsports, and his teammate Sammy Smith still has to go.
Yeah, and we mentioned if you beat 11 cars, you're in. And so far, Brett Moffitt has beat 11 cars. So he's locked in everyone above him down to 23rd position. So they know they're going to race this afternoon. Others will have to hope they can beat some more cars or have enough points. It's a good looking ride, isn't it?
It is. Joe Grapp Jr. in the 39 will race later today. He is 22nd of 35. And I mentioned the Chevrolets from Dale Jr.'s camp. Here's the first of those. Josh Berry, 3-time winner last year, made the championship 4.
Here they come. These are going to be some fast Chevys.
Here's something for you. Dale Jr. has 7 wins here, is an owner in the Xfinity Series with 7 different drivers. But the 4 competing for him today, they're an 0-for. We could go 8 for 8 this afternoon with his bunch.
Just creeping ahead of Parker. Retzlaff is currently 10th and on the bubble. It looks like Barry's right there with him.
He's ahead of one Parker and behind the other. It's the Parker and Parker show right now. In this scenario, we should rename the ghost car Parker, I think.
Oh, and Parker squeaked ahead or no?
It looks like he did. Barry's 12th, Regan.
Well, Adam Myatt Snyder returning to Daytona after making the highlight reel last year. Not in the way that you want to make the highlight reel necessarily. What do you do this year to erase that memory of what took place on the back straightaway at the end of the race?
I mean, obviously the best way to do it is just to go out and win the race. But, you know, honestly, I think we have a pretty good shot at that today. We have a pretty good shot at it today with this awesome-looking tree top GR Supra. So really proud of all the effort that the 19 boys have put in at Joe Gibbs Racing. So it's really cool to be back here, really cool to be with a team that I have so much personal history with, and just really happy to be here racing, and you know, it's always a blessing to be able to race.
Credit to our monitor guy, Adam. He did a nice job of getting the monitor away for where Myatt did not have to watch that clip again.
Yeah, look the other way, right? That was so scary.
I mean, and he's thinking win. He's not thinking, well, what if I wreck again? He's thinking win. It just tells you race car drivers are wired a little bit differently than most.
This is Joey Gase in a 53. Two cars here this weekend for that team. Joey and the 35 is C.J. McLaughlin. And Gase is 34th. Show the last lap of last year's race. Disappointment for Myatt Snider. Celebration for this guy, Georgia's Austin Hill. We heard from him earlier. He talked about the importance of the launch. We'll see if he pays it off with a good qualifying run. You know, we talked about the junior motorsports cars and where they might fit in. They're 0 for 1 as far as advancing.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Barry was 12th.
And then just remember, yesterday in practice, drafting, the Gibbs cars and the junior motorsports cars were the best. We got us a race, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, he's right there.
First guy that hasn't lost ground on the backstretch to our pole sitters.
And these two cars, the ghost car Parker Kligerman in the 48, the 21 of Austin Hill. And there's an alliance there with RCR and Big Machine, as we talked about. So not surprising that both are fast. It looks like a little bit of a different thought process on how he holds the steering wheel. Whatever he's doing, it's working. Austin Hill is the fastest at Daytona by a 10th. Yes. 49.28. That was big, Michael.
Nice lap. You heard him talking about all the things he was going to do. He must have said, I did it pretty good.
Checked every box.
Yes.
Now he's got to do it again.
Now he's got to either try to do it the same or a little bit better than he just did it.
That's right. Here's Justin Allgaier. Done so many great things in his career in the Xfinity Series. The one thing he's not done, win here at Daytona. Runner-up on a pair of occasions. New crew chief for him this year, coming off a Championship 4 appearance in 2022.
Right up in the down the back. These cars, that's interesting philosophy sometimes, Adam. You know, you can make some adjustments in your setup to make sure you do qualify well. Might not be as good in the race. If those all four of those cars qualify, you know, somewhere together, near about, you'd think maybe that's what the decision was made back in Mooresville to do.
Myatt Snider on the bubble, and he is not below the cut line. Allgaier is up to 7th. On the bubble now is Jade Buford, and some really fast cars coming. 5 to go. The first of those, last year's pole sitter, won stage 1 and stage 2, and picked up the championship in 2021. Here's Daniel Hemrick.
Yeah, we were talking at him. Daniel had the race in control, and they had a tire that they felt like was going down, and made a pit stop, and that got him in a little bit of trouble, and unfortunately didn't work out.
So he was the 21 champion, came back in 22, changed teams. I might have said 22, but he won the championship 2021. Comes back last year to drive for Colleague after winning the title with Joe Gibbs Racing, and did not find victory lane.
Great lap right here. What a great young man Daniel is. Worked so hard for these opportunities. Drove the perfect couple of last laps at Phoenix to win that championship.
Unbelievable, wasn't it?
As good as you could hope for.
It never won a race, and wins his first that way, and it equals a championship a couple of years ago.
Second.
So he's going to run for the pole. 4 left. Brandon Jones, new team for him. C.J. McLaughlin, Sam Mayer, and Sammy Smith. I talked to Jeff Mindering today, who was his crew chief over at Joe Gibbs Racing, talking about Brandon Jones, and he said their vehicles are parked together in the garage, the haulers are, and because Brandon took the Menard sponsorship with him from Joe Gibbs Racing over to Junior Motorsports, Jeff said, you don't know how many times I've about walked up in that hauler by accident because it's bright yellow, and I'm so accustomed to doing that the last few years.
I think all of us can tell those same stories over the 20, 40, whatever years I've been around here. You've changed teams and find yourself in the wrong hauler every now and then.
John Hunter Nemechek on the bubble. And Brandon Jones here looking pretty good with this lap, trying to advance.
Just an update, Dexter Stacy is the first guy that's only beat 10 cars. He'll have to beat one more in order to guarantee himself a spot in the race. And then our mathematician over there, Russell, will have to go to work and figure out where the points lie and who makes it and who doesn't.
It's really close, but Brandon Jones misses it. He's 1,000th of a second off of John Hunter Nemechek, who continues to sit 10th.
That's why you have to hit your shifts perfectly. And if you don't, you say, darn, I could have done better and got that 1,000th of a second.
So Jones on the outside looking in. One car remains from Junior Motorsports. Here's the 35 C.J. McLaughlin, and his teammate is already gone. And Joey Gase, as I look at the board, is outside the top 25. In fact, he's back in the 38th position.
This could be a big lap for Dexter Stacy if you think about it. He's able to get ahead of McLaughlin.
As we watch CJ, we hear from Regan.
Well, Adam, Justin Allgaier right now, currently the only Junior Motorsports car locked into the next round. One more car to go from your stable. It seemed like maybe we expected you guys, based on practice yesterday, to all be towards the top of the board. Is this surprising to you?
Not really surprising. You know, Junior Motorsports does such a great job on our Super Studio programs, but we feel like for us, strength is in numbers, and you know, our cars draft so well. Qualifying's never really been a focus, if you will. You know, these races, it's so easy to kind of be up front and be in the back in no time, and kind of vice versa. So really, really proud of the team, everybody at Junior Motorsports. You know, our brand professional culture, Camaro is really, really good. Hendrick Engine Shop obviously did a great job. And the paint scheme is beautiful. So we got the platinum anniversary, the 70th anniversary for brand professional culture. So really, really cool to have these colors on board. And, you know, they'll look good right now, but they look really good in victory lane here later this afternoon.
Always fun to have a fast car that looks good too, right?
It really is.
Thanks, Justin.
Top 8 are locked in to the second round of qualifying. They'll run for the pole. Who will join them in those positions now? Custer and Nemechek. Here's the first of 2 to go, Sam Mayer. And right now, the Ghost car has him on the outside looking in, Michael.
Yeah, and just an update on McLaughlin. He was able to rally and end up in the 29th position, locking himself in.
Great lap there. And at the line, John Hunter Nemechek gonna
hang on,
stay in for now. Mayer's 14th, 17 thousandths. Make that, well, I'm not going to do the math. I've lost my numbers here, so I'm just going to tell you he's not going to advance, and it is close. Last car opening round.
Sammy Smith, 2021 and 22 ARCA East champion. 9 starts in the Xfinity Series, 3 top 10s. So showing young man has a whole lot of talent at him.
Double duty this weekend. We saw him last night racing in the Craftsman Truck Series for Tricon Garage. It was in that 17 truck.
Racing against his teammate right now on this qualifying lap.
Looks like John Hunter Nemechek might be the only Gibbs car to advance. We know there's only going to be one because Myatt Snyder will not get there. And as you said, if Sammy Smith locks in, it would knock Nemechek out. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Sammy Smith, 15th. Nemechek going to go for the pole. So is this guy. And he's the front runner because he's fast in round 1. Austin Hill, top of the pylon. The opening round of qualifying complete at Daytona for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Here are the 10 drivers that will run for the pole. Who stands out there to you?
Well, obviously Austin Hill, student of the game, watched very carefully, planned on how he wanted to execute his launch, and did a great job. He's fastest. But man, Parker Kligerman was a lot of fun to watch, wasn't he? Great run for that car as well.
7 different organizations represented in those cars that will advance. And maybe the best highlight of all, Anthony Alfredo. We're still not sure how he was able to move on, if it was the wind or not, but congratulations to him. That's awesome for him and that B.J. McLaughlin. McLeod team.
You know, you work all winter long for this lap. We talk about winning this race, and that's what's most important. But the crew guys are like, we want to put a car on the track that's faster than everybody's. You go out there and prove that you were in contention to do just that. That's a great feeling. And I wonder, does it look like I'm going sailing?
Yeah. Did you just hit me, by the way? We got some things to iron out in the booth, so let's go to pit road. Here's Regan.
Well, hopefully Daniel Hemrick's a little bit calmer down here, and I don't get hit as well, Adam. Second quick, Daniel, in the first session right there, a little bit less than 1/10 of a second off. Where do you find that time here now on this final run?
I'm hoping I can tune up my flavor in the Circle bottle, and that'll make the Circle Chevrolet's fast Xfinity 10G. But I don't know. We'll see, man. That's so close. Well, not quite a 10th there. Yeah, just proud of these guys, man. It's so windy here today at Daytona. So you can get a gust one way or the other, and probably alter this, beginning or starting top 10 by probably 4 or 5 spots, depending on how you catch that wind. So yeah, hopefully we're on the good side of that, and I can do the little things I'm supposed to do right, and give our guys a chance at a pole position.
Thanks, Danny.
So we told you the good news. Here's the bad news. These drivers miss out. Timmy Hill, Alex Labbe. Jeremy Clements is there, but that's not going to be accurate. We'll update this list when we come back to Daytona. For all those stressing out in Spartanburg, South Carolina,
and Owensboro, Kentucky, for that matter.
Yeah, fearing that Jeremy Clements was not going to race today. He is. We've updated our graphic. Timmy Hill, Alex Labbe, Dexter Stacy, Ryan Vargas, Josh Bilicki, Garrett Smithley, the drivers that missed the show this afternoon. There goes Brandon Jones. And the difference in him being right there and on pit road and just about ready to run for the pole is minimal. 1,000th of a second, the difference between he and 10th place John Hunter Nemechek.
Did I tell you that everything matters?
1,000th of a second. 1,000th of a second.
Hit your launch. Nail your gears so that you don't have to worry about leaving 1,000th of a second on the table. What do you think that is, Adam? About 6 inches, around 2.5 miles for...
We're doing the math on that.
We're working on that?
On what 1,000th of a second is here at Daytona at those speeds.
We've got the answer.
3 inches is the difference.
3 inches and 2.5 miles. That's cool.
Now, in theory, you would say that 1,000th of a second cost him a chance to go from not just 11th to 10th in advance, but 11th to 1st and be on the pole because you have a chance. Now, he probably would not have been able to make up that kind of ground in the second round, but who knows? Here's the launch.
Listen to it.
This is your area, not mine.
I would say it was 99% good. You know, the thing is, you ever been at a stoplight in a manual transmission car and stall your motor? You know, didn't do it right.
Yeah.
I don't think any of those guys are going to do that.
Let me ask you this, though. You know, as a golfer, you and I play golf. I mean, once I hit one in the water, I'm like, all right, I'll go to the next hole. So if you get off pit road there and you know you didn't nail the launch, mentally, where are you in the rest of the process knowing you've left something on the table?
You say don't screw anything else up.
Yeah.
You hit your shifts properly. You hold the wheel nice and steady. You get as high as you can on your get up to speed lap. And that's why the launch matters. You know, you might be able to change what you're running at the start finish line when you take the green flag right there by 1 mile an hour if you do it better than the rest. And that 1 mile an hour is a difference in sometimes poles and not.
49.643. That was the time round one.
What do you think? They go a little bit faster?
Hunter Nemechek.
Got all the fluids and temperatures up on the oils, then the transmission, the gear, the engine. Probably will equate to some speed, I would think.
And then, you know, you watch to see if everybody picks up about the same, because in theory, we're going slowest to fastest here in round 2 compared to what they did in round 1. So we should just get better and better as these 10 drivers roll out.
But then you got to factor in the wind too, Adam.
Sure.
You know, that could gust the right direction for you. So it's going to be interesting. This will be fun to watch.
49.54 picks up a 10th.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be about the average. But again, they're variables. Some cars might have you know, some teams might have gotten a little bit more heat in their gear and their transmissions this morning, and that could have given them an advantage in the first round. That will be gone in the second.
Put the ghost car in. Watch Cole Custer compared to John Hunter Nemechek.
Now, these are a couple of cats I'm really looking forward to watching race in 2023. They have, they're winners, and they have Cup experience. They've done a little bit of everything, and it'll be interesting to see if they are indeed the cream of the crop in the Xfinity Series this year.
You know, in college sports, all the conferences give out the newcomer of the year in the various sports. I feel like these are the two newcomers of the year when it comes to the Xfinity Series. Both should deliver, as you said, with great teams and a great history here on the Xfinity side of things. Great lap for Cole Custer. He was a 49.62 in round 1, and he goes to a 49.36. That's a big pickup.
49.36. P1 so far.
That's a nice lap. Who's your surprise of the year, Adam? Who would you vote for? My surprise newcomer of the year, I think, would be Sammy Smith. I just feel really good about where he is as a driver and his accomplishments so far in his young career.
I would probably say I would lean on two guys in that category. They're newcomers as well, but I would say Parker Kligerman and a Big Machine, and then Kaz Grala. So if I'm going surprise newcomer, it would be one of those two.
Yeah, I think Kligerman's a great driver to talk about that, because we get him in the trucks, you know, and he always just takes that truck to the front and runs so well. This is a great chance for him with Big Machine.
But I think I told this story yesterday, and we can talk more about it when he qualifies. Patrick Donahue told me when he was looking for a driver to run full-time in that 48, he said, I want a 30-something that's been around a little bit and still hungry. And we saw what A.J. Allmendinger did, and kind of fits that mold a little bit, bounced around, and now has a chance full-time. Here's Justin Allgaier. He's second, 49.39 after a 49.59 in the opening round. Picked up 2/10.
Back in the day, Junior Johnson said he was looking for a driver somewhere in his late 29s or early 30s. I think my brother was 29 or 30. Another launch we get to watch. You know what's even worse if you're that driver, Adam? Is the whole world is watching. I wonder if he looked over and saw that red light and thought, oh no, better do this right. He slipped the clutch a little bit just to make sure he didn't stall the motor out. I think all in all, you just said that was a decent. I don't think you would call it perfect, but I think it was pretty good.
Chandler Smith in the 16 is tracking behind Cole Custer.
You got two. I'm going to take a second. I'll take the Smith boys.
Okay.
I'll take Chandler.
Yeah, that's good. He's 4th of 4 right now. This is Custer's teammate, Riley Hurt, so you would anticipate he will be fast.
Watch his angle from the outside wall down to take the green at the start-finish line. Don't want to get there too soon, and he didn't. That was perfect. Nice angle. Now you just hold that wheel as steady as you can. Some drivers elect to take that left hand off the wheel. You also want to see how that left front, you can just barely see where it covers almost all the yellow lines. Then you don't want to flare up too high off the corner. I think that's a nice job as well. The engine sounds solid, doesn't it?
It does.
They're tuned up.
Hurt's faster than his teammate in round 1, but it's not going to happen here in round 2. That's a big lap for Cole.
Again, just a little bit confusing. How can everybody else pick up a 10th and you pick up 3?
Maybe it's the win thing
again. That's the only thing you can think about. And if you look over in turn 3, Adam, the flags are really blowing down that up the back straightaway, headwind down the back.
Halfway home in round 2 qualifying. There's the shot of the wind. The first to the second 5 is the first of 2 from Richard Childress Racing. Here comes the 2-car Sheldon Creed.
Looking for big things out of Sheldon this year. He just gets better and better with anything he does. Had the good fortune of getting to watch him hone his skills in the Craftsman Truck Series. Fun race last night, buddy. Enjoyed being with you.
Yeah, it was a good time. Congratulations to Zane Smith, back-to-back at Daytona.
I'd frame that umbrella if I was him.
I would too. And he's racing tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's awesome for him. What a weekend.
He will be the next big newcomer to the, who knows if he stops in the Xfinity Series. He might go straight to Cup.
He might. Going to be some Ford rides open in Cup next year, it looks like. Creed is second. 49.39, 3/100ths off of the fast time Cole Custer. Well, you talk about the pickup and moving up the board. I mean, we said it in theory. They just get better and better in round 2 because you go slowest to fastest compared to what you ran in round 1. But Custer's, he screwed all that up here.
I think somebody will clip him, don't you?
It's going to be hard to imagine that Hemrick and Hill don't have something for him for sure. And it looks like Anthony Alfredo is not going to get there. But regardless of what Alfredo does here, this has been an incredibly successful qualifying session for that team.
Yeah, what a great session for BJ McLeod's team. Got a lot of heart and passion for this sport, doesn't BJ?
Mm-hmm. I saw him media day the other day for the Daytona 500. Gave me a big hug. It about broke me in 2, actually.
I'll tell you the biggest surprise I had during the few days prior to the weekend of racing was I grabbed Travis Pastrana by the arm to say hello to him. I thought I grabbed Rob Gronkowski. I mean, that man, he's got some arms on him. All these drivers now, Adam, work out so hard. They don't leave anything on the table. They're in the gym, running, training. I play a lot of pickleball myself.
That's your thing?
Yeah.
You need a doubles partner? Alfredo went to 7th, 3 to go. The first of those, the aforementioned 48 of Parker Kligerman.
He's right there.
3rd year for this organization. Won last year with Tyler Reddick at Texas. And the foundation is strong for their future.
He's there.
Could he go out and grab the pole?
Cole's like, no, please, no, please, no.
He does not want to believe the ghost car. Kligerman, fastest, 49.33. Two left. Last year's pole sitter Daniel Hemrick, and the guy that won the race, Austin Hill. Here's the 11 of Hemrick.
Isn't that great? The pole sitter and the race winner.
Yeah.
They're back and they're strong again.
Nice way to end it, huh? And they're kind of teammates with the alliance that Colleague has with RCR.
Here goes the left anything on the table there with the launch. And he's going to have all what's under the hood as he hits 4th gear. Making sure the winning net's all secure where he wants it. Daniel Hemrick's going to come up a little bit short against Parker Kligerman as they come to the start finish.
We know Parker Kligerman is going to be on the front row. The question is, will it be outside or inside? Hemrick is 5th. Last chance to knock off the 48. Last year's winner, Austin Hill.
Austin Hill takes the green flag. One thing in mind. Hold the wheel as steady as you can and run as low as you can. ghost car's got him on the apron. I don't think he's down there.
Yeah.
But I like the spirit of the ghost car. Heck, I go down there wide open. I'm gonna be faster than everybody. It's working out so far. Who drives our ghost car? I want to talk. I'd like to get him under contract.
NASCAR might penalize the ghost car for that lap.
Uh-oh.
This is really good.
Here he comes.
Big Machine has never won a pole. Austin Hill got him.
Big Machine has never won a pole.
That's right. Thank you for that. Austin Hill will lead him to the green today. It's his second career pole and the 81st all-time for RCR, the 11th at Daytona. Austin Hill picking up where he left off in this race 1 year ago. Won the season opener last campaign. Starts on the pole today alongside Parker Kligerman.
It's just going to be so much fun to watch these guys battle this afternoon. Daytona for the Xfinity Series. It's the best trophy of the year. Always see some great racing.
That's the front row. I got like 25 drivers that I believe can win the race later today. We look forward to it. And we'll have coverage with race day starting at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Ryan Blaney will be in the booth with Austin Dillon. If you want to hear from Austin Hill, he'll be next, a part of our NASCAR Race Hub Weekend Edition. We got ARCA coming up. It's a big, big day ahead from Daytona. Stay here.